banners we are showing. So most of you will probably have seen some of these personalized, retargeted banners. So much about us. Our vision about programmatic advertising. This is how normally our agencies and classical media brands used to do marketing. They have got target groups. Let's take an example of BMW, a German automotive brand you all know. They have got a target group of probably 29-year-olds to 59-year-olds, male or female. So now they're going to look, where can I reach this target group? And they go to websites where they know it's an automotive website, so there are probably people interested in automotive, so I will show them a banner there. Not knowing if this person that is currently browsing on that website is actually in the buying cycle of a car or just for interest. So much of that money they spend there is probably lost or is invested in the brand for the future. But you never know exactly if this person on that automotive website is actually interested in automotive cars or BMW. Our way of doing advertising is the other way round. So we have got a user focus. So we look at the user and what the user is doing and what he is interested in. So we know exactly what each and every user is doing in the internet. So we show banners only based on that behavior. So if we saw somebody on the BMW website, he's for sure interested in BMW. And if we find that user later on a Google website or Facebook, we will show this person an ad for BMW based on his behavior before. And here, if he run a search on BMW for a certain car, if he used a car configurator, we would even show him an ad with a configured car later on Facebook. So this is how we avoid not to reach the wrong users, but only the right users that have already shown an interest. Coming back to pricing, the traditional marketing approach was the left-hand side. So you paid a general price, a static price, for showing an ad on a specific website. And when it now comes to programmatic advertising, this is not the case anymore. You know exactly the history of the user. You know how probably this user will go to buy or what he has already bought. So you have to bid a certain price for each and every user. So there might be one user, you know he has got a strong history, is buying a lot, you will bid a very high price. And you have another user which probably has never bought anything online, so you would probably not show an ad to this user, or bid only for 40 cent CPM for that specific user. And this is exactly the difference between the traditional media and the programmatic advertising, how we do it today. In order to do that, you need a lot of information. When we started our business 2005, we had 4 variables in order to optimize to whom user we would show an ad and to whom we wouldn't. Today we have more than 100 different variables in order to decide on showing an ad to a user or not. And one of the variables I just put here on the screen, so it's like the engagement. Which colors does he like? Which call to actions does he like? And depending on these variables, we show different ads to every single user. So this is how we build banners. So we have a set of colors, of call to actions, as I said, of products, of backgrounds, of call to actions. And based on this information, we are creating banners within 6 milliseconds when we see a user coming on a website. And you can see that probably no user of us, and who knows us, will see the same banner as another user did. So every user gets a different ad. I have another example of the travel industry, and this is just to show you the amount of ads you could see having visited one specific website. So all of this happens within 6 milliseconds. So this is kind of the dashboard a classical media buyer has used. So he had to turn a lot of different switches and buttons in order to decide where to show an ad. This is what is not happening today anymore. When we are talking to our clients, we get very clear KPIs, such as this is the CPO I want to reach, this is the cost of sale I want to reach per category and per product. And this is all a client has to do. And then he switches the button once he has given out this information, and the campaign is up and running. And nobody else has to do anything anymore. And it's just optimized based on the behavior of every single user. Challenges. There's one main challenge. And in order to illustrate that, I have a short video where young people have been asked about their behavior and mobile. And I hope it will work now.
How much time would you say you spend on your phone every day?
I think an easier question would be, when don't I have my phone?
4 or 5 hours.
6 hours?
Solid 4 to 6 hours.
23?
How much of that time is spent on actual phone calls?
0. None.
0. There's no, I don't think people really call each other anymore.
I call people and people get weirded out that I called them.
So this is reality today. People are spending 23 hours a day on their mobile phone, especially the young people, and they don't use it for actually calling somebody else. And this is what's happening, and the whole media industry is going to move there as well. It has to move there. So if you see the average time spent with different media, so what we see is, just look at the numbers above. So the total, we are growing by 10%. These are global numbers. Digital is growing by 51%, and mobile is really exploding by 256%. So this is currently the challenge we, and I suppose many of you guys, are seeing at the moment. This is how we planned so far, and this is how we have to plan today. We are already generating roughly 30% of all our revenues with mobile devices. So clicks generated on mobile devices, including tablets and phones, which is already quite a lot. A little less in sales, but in clicks, it's already 30%. And the challenge now is really to connect the single user with all the different devices he uses. So on average, the users are using 4 different devices. It's a private desktop, it's a job desktop, it's a tablet, and it's a mobile phone. And what we are doing today is really to roll out the possibility to track the users across different devices. So why do we do that? Because today, when we find a user on a mobile phone, we do not know his history. So we would show him probably the same ad twice, because we have seen him on the desktop in the evening. So by doing that and rolling out that product, we are able to show him a second ad which fits with the first one, and which attracts the user more. Or even if a user is going to opt out our service, he says, well, I do not want to see your banners anymore, Criteo. We do that across all the devices this specific user uses. I have 30 seconds left, but I'm at the end. So what we see is it becomes more complex, so the complexity is the new normal. And we have 20 seconds for questions. Thank you. I'll hand over to the next one.